So, Luann is somebody that I see as a mentor. She's somebody I can come to with any kind of question, and it's never stupid. I know preparing for this interview, and I'm like, okay, I need a list of all the questions that are going to be asked, and I need to know what to wear. And she was there to kind of be that middle person for me that's like, come as you are, be who you are. That's the person people want to see. And so I feel like whenever I have questions like that might be a little bit weird to ask other people, I always feel like I can ask Luann, and she's going to understand where I'm coming from and the kind of support that I need. My main area of impact here is the board of directors, and I'm really proud of the work that we do there. I know that right now we're working on how do we get the message out there. I think there's a lot of people that need services that don't necessarily know that we offer them. And so how are we going to get our message out? So that's one branch of what we do. The other side is how can we keep expanding our offerings to keep pushing the boundaries of what we can do. I know our community has been incredibly supportive of us, whether it be through closed donations, financial donations, donations of time, and we take that very seriously. And so on the board of directors, we will go through, and every single week we're brainstorming something. Every single week we're finding out what can we do to make our services better, whether it be through outreach with our messaging or creating new services. So I think the board for me has been a place to really I have a platform there. I have a platform to be an agent of change. My first thing that I did on the board was talk to them about Autos for Autism. I know that it might not necessarily seem like something that's necessary, but as an autistic person going to a drag racing strip, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And so whenever I brought that to their attention, they're like, oh, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And so hearing protection showed up, and it showed up in a big way. We got a sign, we got rentals. We were able to really be there for people who bring their autistic daughter or son and are able to have a safe way for them to be there. And so I really feel like every time there's a child there that looks like they're about ready to have a meltdown, and we can swoop in with a pair of noise-canceling headphones, I really feel like I've been seen. I am a self-determination instructor at Easter Seals Midwest now. I do that. That's something that I'm very passionate about, teaching people with disabilities about their rights and the responsibilities that come along with those rights. I also have the opportunity to speak to direct support professionals and tell them what it's like to be an advocate for the people that they're helping out, because there are people who cannot live fully independently, and those people deserve to have rights too. And I think what I've learned here, the mission I've been able to do here, the advocacy I've been able to do, really puts me in a position where I can teach others about how to step up, how to find resources, and how to connect in a way that's really meaningful. Our business starts with the donation of clothes from our community. And it goes without saying that we wouldn't be anywhere without those donations. And so the donations come in, they get sorted, they get cleaned, they get tagged, they get put in the store, all by our interns. And we sell those clothes at the front, back to our community, back to the people who need them. And that money comes back in, and then it hits the board of directors, and we're working really, really hard to push the boundaries of what can we do in the community, what new programs can we bring in. One great program that I can't speak highly of enough is the Peers program. I know that I personally was in it. It's something that really the Peers program looks at what autistic people need to live as adults, and it puts that in a package that can be taught. And I know it's a lot more difficult than a 16-week course it can bring. Going out there and having friends and having relationships, it happens in a lot longer time. But this Peers class kind of lays the groundwork to how to build that up yourself. I know some weeks we were told that we need to go out of our way to call a buddy that was in the program, and that was really difficult for me at first. But it got easier with time. One week we had to talk about how do we make small talk with people if we're in an elevator with them. How do we make small talk with people if we're in the break room? And people don't really think about that stuff as being a job skill, but people judge you when you can't do things like that. You're not a team player if you can't talk about what you did over the weekend. You're not really a part of the team if you can't have that level of camaraderie with your coworkers. And so little things like that, the Peers program really excels in. It is pointing out those little pinpoint things that could really make a big difference that we don't always think about, and giving that to our students. How to have a relationship is a really big one. And I think that since we're talking to young adults, relationship building is very, very key, whether it be romantic or otherwise. We really talk about what it's like to be in a healthy relationship and what relationships aren't healthy when people are taking advantage of you. I think one thing that it's really important to remember is that disabled people can get abused. Disabled people are more likely to be abused by people around them. And I think by teaching those skills to know, hey, maybe this person I'm around isn't somebody I need to be around. Maybe somebody could tell that based on body language. Maybe somebody could tell that based on little hints that were dropped here and there. But for an autistic person, that's all invisible. So really bringing that forward and saying it very explicitly, like, if somebody's treating you like this, or this, they might not be somebody that you want to be around, and here's why. We go over different scenarios of what it could end up being, what it could look like, and then we talk about ways to either get better people in your life or in those relationships. And I think that's really strong. All right, my name is Joseph Govero. I'm a member of the board of directors here at Hope for Autism. I was elected as a vice president a little bit under a year ago. Born and raised here in Farmington, graduated from Farmington High School 2014. Been a member of the community ever since. I recently moved up to Imperial, but the mission here is just so strong. I make the drive every single month because I didn't want to leave it behind.